Coming to you live from the Poison Point studio, it's Neo!
Good evening, my esteemed watchers, and welcome to another episode of Poison Points. I'm your host, Irisu Neo, and tonight I'm happy to see you all here and allowing us to enjoy the festivities. I apologize for some reason, even though I did fix it, my follow alert is being finicky. So thank you for the follow, Survival R, and welcome on into the stream. And of course, I do accidentally mess up my intro from time to time. By the way, Space Buffoon, right here underneath my arm. There they are. First claimed by them. If you want to claim first, well, you gotta be here first. And to be here first, 9:30 p.m. PST every Friday is the way to do. Welcome on in, Danny, PK, Blaze, Buffy, of course. Sain, I know, is lurking in the chat. Wisp, congratulations on getting your PC. And Silver, thank you for the resub. I appreciate it. I hope that the evening has gone swell, and the beginning of your weekend even sweller. I know it's the start for me in terms of work, pretty much. I'm already halfway through since I work 4 days, but hello, Rig. Welcome on in. It's a pleasure to have you here. I have been dealing with a lot of things recently. Those that have followed me on Twitter know that something's amiss, and I'm not going to let it happen. Well, not if I have anything to say about it. See these eyes? Right here and right there? I am wiping them away for real. Oh, goodness. He's back. Welcome on in. This bot only follows men. Surprising that you got that wrong, considering that I am a luscious woman. I would appreciate it. Actually, I think I could do it from here. There we go. Easy peasy. It took you, what, like 20 minutes, maybe even longer, to make an account bot that does that? And whoa, the click of a button. I've washed it down the drain. Let's get some music in, shall we? Yeah, be gone, bot. I mean, what even is the point to do that? I would hope that someone who's streaming on Twitch is at least confident enough to know that people are just gonna troll, but I guess it does work, so that's why it just keeps happening. I don't even know at this point, honestly. Probably the worst person that you could target with anything like that. Because I literally don't care. It does not faze me at all. But technically, we did confirm the last time that this happened that half the time they are correct. Because if they follow using, like if it was a bot after all, and they follow using the trans tag, and there are any trans mask streamers, then yes, they do follow men. It's strangely, how do I put this? Like, confirming? I don't even know. Some people were born with a cactus up their ass. Yeah, this is true. This is true. And I did call them out in my one video. Please, if you get angry at me in a video game, come into my stream. Slur at me. I'll just ban you. It's easy as that, and we get to laugh. I've digested paper by accident today. I can consume metal. I mean, I'm proud of you, Blaze, but... Well... By the way, how's the music, by the way? Is it too loud? It's quite loud in my ears, so... Alright, I won't worry about it. I'll let you do your thing. Have fun, Irisu fact. I used to eat paper in school. I was a bad kid. The music is good right now. Okay, when we get Sain in, if we could get a double check, then that would be great. Trolling our mental disability, call it insert mustache man with monocle image. Yes. Yeah, pretty much. But yes, I used to eat paper when I was in high school because I didn't have anything better to do. I hated high school. It was probably my worst experience of my life. Second to a different thing that happened to me. And honestly, it beat listening to people who were telling me to do things in a way maybe that I didn't quite clearly understand yet. But now that I do, and I have a better grasp of myself, I could probably go back. Not to high school, mind you, but join college or something along those lines. Oh, speaking of which, if you haven't already, please go ahead and join the Discord. We are actually having this Monday a Gardic Phone stream night with Space Buffoon, since they hit a very specific goal in their whatever-a-thon, as they call it. And we're going to be doing Gardic Phone as a community, so make sure that you go in there, top left, and select that you're interested, and we will give you an event role if you wish to join. And of course, you'll be sat into a stage and whatnot. Regardless, I will say, I don't have any socials this time because I'm working on revamping that. But I will jump straight to, if you have anything to give to the channel, whether it be through Ko-Fi, or through a subscription, or through bits, anything financially. I put a lot of effort into these streams through the acting and the performance, and as well as making sure that my guest is taken care of. So if you can appreciate that at all, it's not required at all, but it would help a lot. Specifically because Well, okay, good. That works. That works perfectly. I was worried that it didn't update properly like it does occasionally. But with that being said, I pull 0 ads at all, except for the pre-roll, which is an unfortunate circumstance. I've chosen pre-roll over the ads that play during stream because I do not want to interrupt anybody's experience, and I don't want to make it a requirement that you have to subscribe. But that is why anything financial will help. On a related note, check the underside of dumplings before consuming them whole. It's definitely not an animal wearing a human, or I'm definitely not an animal wearing a human suit. What does that mean, please? Did you eat dumplings and put aluminum in your mouth and eat the aluminum? Is that what you did? There's sometimes paper there. This is true. Panic, did I call it? Oh. Oh my goodness. And of course, our silly friend waiting in the wings. Do you eat your dumplings with or without the shell? Well, that is the question. That's a great hypothetical theoretical. So, boneless dumplings. Oh goodness, why am I blanking on it? The corn shell Mexican dish. Is it Mexican or is it also Spanish? Just Hispanic overall. I feel like it is a Hispanic or a Mexicans. Yeah, tamales. Is that specific to Mexico? Or is that also just overall a Hispanic dish? Because, yeah, I know somebody who eats the entire thing. They don't unwrap the outer shell. They eat that corn shell around it. I believe so, since Spain didn't have corn. We'll have to ask. Now I just need to know, like, out of full curiosity. Okay. We've made our guest wait long enough. So, well, without further ado, I think it's time that we... I don't actually have a video this time. I usually do. But this time around, I wanted to change it up a little bit. I need to rethink the video system. But introducing our guest for this evening, it is none other than Saincisco.
¿Qué es lo que pasa, mi gente? Hola, saludo, mi gente. ¿Cómo están?
It's this stream that I've actually employed my first ever translator, Space Buffoon, if you're there.
No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to throw you a surprise. I'm full of surprises, by the way.
Oh yes,
I'm surprised.
I definitely know.
I was faked.
Well, I mean, I have to interview an interviewer. It's only the requirement for this evening, so. Wow.
Absolutely, I completely understand.
All right, can we get a quick sound check for everybody in chat? Sain, can we get a few bit of talking, and I'll talk a little bit.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Yo, what's up?
What is up, everyone?
Yeah, let's talk over each other. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, PK Ninja VT, Salty Boys. I'm Danny, my beloved. There you go. I gave you some shouts as I do my streams at the beginning.
Yeah, there we go. It sounds like everybody is satisfied. Well, now, Sain, welcome on in to Poison Points. And my first one for this, well, in a little bit. I've taken just a tiny bit of a break. So coming back in, I'm excited to have an experienced interviewer guest that I get to interview today. So, well, how are you doing this evening? Was the trip here awkward, weird, strange?
I just came from a very blocky road, and by that, I was literally collabing with my group. I don't mean to chill at the beginning, but holy crap. It was like a... Oh, sorry. Forgot. I forgot to ask. Can I swear in here?
Oh, yeah, you're perfectly fine.
I'll keep it to a minimum. But yeah, it was a bit of a rocky road because I was playing a Minecraft with my group, with my VTuber group, which I just joined not long ago. And we were having our first collab.
I see. What is the name of your VTuber group?
Our name is Indie Vicious. You heard that right.
Okay.
Don't confuse it with a different word.
Okay.
I think it's best if I type it out.
So, not vicious, just vicious.
Okay, so the letter V for VTuber, and then SHES. Vicious.
Vicious. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Sounds like sounds like something else, but you know.
Yeah, but it's not. It's specifically vicious.
Yes, Indie Vicious.
Okay. Well, how did you come across this group? Was it something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, or?
Oh, it came and started all as a joke.
Oh.
It was like a meme that got a little bit trendy around at some time because the algorithm be crazy like that. And it started from a group of friends who are all, as a matter of fact, also like me, bilingual and Puerto Ricans. And we decided, why not just really make a group of like us, like bilingual or Puerto Ricans, which is like a requirement to be in the group. And sure, why not? And we started, we took that name and we ran with it, and they control it. And they made that account. It was pretty, it went pretty well with the promotion. And then, hey, let's just keep rolling to see where we go. When you become a VTuber, you kind of start to having tons of ideas just to like mimic those who have some kind of success to see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you grew it out of the, well, you say meme, but I hear you did it for fun, and I think that it's that's one of the best ways you could do it.
Absolutely.
The meme became the dream. Exactly.
Well said, Danny.
So, actually, 2 interviews ago, I interviewed Virtua Valentine, and we actually forgot to bring up part of what he was doing for his VTuber group. It slipped his mind. He got like 1 hour of sleep, so we both forgot. But he also just started his own VTuber group, which honestly, I like the idea of the power to the indie and starting their own groups in that regard, because it's not his is specifically a talent agency, but with extreme emphasis on the fun part, which is good. I think that's a good focus to aim for. But I've always been interested in making my own little group, and everyone around me is doing it. I might as well reconsider this idea.
Yeah, it was good training. The one that we're doing right now, the way I can see it, the quick thing I can say is it's been really good training. All the things you need to try out and all that stuff. Even if it was like a meme or for a joke or anything, no strings attached from anybody. It's like, wow, all these things that we gotta like actually study about it. That's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah. I think that it's a great exercise in not committing to what a real talent agency has to offer, but it does have that fun. I think fun is just the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my last interviewee, Zovastria, left us with a question, as is tradition on Poison Points. And I hope you're ready, because this one's a bit of a doozy. I know I say it almost every time.
Roll it at me.
Okay.
Roll it at me.
What is your favorite kind of cheese? I know, it's a lot to take in.
Ha! That's a very easy question, actually. My favorite type of cheese, it's a mozzarella.
Ooh.
Mozzarella. Simple, easy, sticky, all over. Throw it at me.
Now, do you prefer it in the shredded form, or do you prefer it in like the cheese stick form that you can just pry apart?
I think I like the melted form. The stick form. So I can melt it from there. You know how when you pull those mozzarella sticks, you see it all gooey in there, already all mixed up, no strings.
Yes.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, okay. I mean, I like both. because I also put it over salad, which I shouldn't, but I put it over salad.
I mean, it's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, why is it escaping me? A balsamic vinaigrette with specifically a mozzarella cheese that is basically a mozzarella made into a ball around mozzarella. I'm losing all of my chef roots. I feel so terrible. But that is the stuff right there.
We can go about some stuff there, because I just heard you ask about tamales, and I can tell you for sure that tamales are not really a Puerto Rican thing. We can eat them over there. We make them there, but we have something different, something just as delicious, and it's called a pastel. Pastel is made also with plantain instead of the other vegetable that is used for the tamales.
Really?
It's very similar in nature. It's like a cousin, but it's so vastly different, but it looks almost identical. It's like a cousin plate.
Ooh, that sounds really good. I've had tamales before. It wasn't really for me because I just don't know what it is, but like Hispanic and Mexican food, they don't agree with me at all. I hate it because some of them are so good. But my body. Oh, go ahead.
I also heard you ate paper. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with you?
I thank you for the follow, Cody. We're gonna segue right out of that one. Well, listen, I was
listening back there. I was under your table listening to everything.
I am, or at least I still am. I was a weird kid. For whatever reason, I did it probably for attention. Probably because it was weird and everyone would look at me. Because I was the weird kid, right? I like to be the strange one in class because I was the mischief maker. Still am. It's genetic, I've found. All right. Well, I definitely want to try these. What did you say they were again?
Oh, pastel. Yeah, pasteles.
You are going to have to send that one to me because...
Yeah, of course. No worries. There's got to be a translation name for it. Like a more westernized name for it, but we just call it pastel. And the word itself does not do any favor to the description, because the word pastel also can be used for like cake, like just standard cake, any type of cake.
That's what I was.
Cake, but it's not.
That's what I was thinking of in terms of roots. I don't know a lot of like about Spanish as a language, but I can recognize base things from it because of my knowledge of French, which is really weird. I can read very simple sentences because of my French knowledge, which I didn't think I would be able to do. Is it going to be accurate? No way. Because the sentence structure is completely different. Which, as I've grown older, I appreciate that so much. It's so cool to learn the origins of what words mean and how they fit into to sentences.
Yeah.
I know pasties are a British hand pie. They're also something that you put over your nipples if you don't want to show any nip.
Ayo.
Sorry. All right, my apologies. I'll get out of this weird mode that I've set myself into.
Don't worry, you're good.
So, Sain, I have what I like to call icebreaker questions, and these are basically how you came to be as a VTuber, the backstory, as it were. So tell me, why did you become a VTuber? How did you get from where you were to where we see you now today?
Okay. That's an excellent question. I always like to talk about it. In fact, I think I talk a little too much about it because I just want to like also use it as an icebreaker on my interviews. But here we go. Let's see a fun way to explain the story, the lore of Sain, and also how I came to be a VTuber. So do you see these things on my head? See these little pieces of metal in the middle of the head, on the sides of the head?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So some people think that those are like antennas or so like I'm a robot, no, something like that. No, those are stitches. I actually have stitches on my head. Yeah. And that's because I passed away in my previous life, and I was reincarnated as an anime girl, and now but my body has all kinds of powers that can help me like transform and be whoever I want to be. So that's why the label right below me right there is extremely correct. I can go by any pronouns. I am known as the Transformer VTuber, and that is because I have these abilities because I have a condition that is associated with my VTuber, and that is I have something called Moya Moya.
Yes, so you mentioned it before, and
yeah,
I tried actually looking it up at work. I think it was good that my internet was not working because I want to hear it from you. What is Moya Moya?
Oh, keeping it simple, it basically, so the word translates, it comes from an Asian origin. The word means puff of smoke. It just means like puff of smoke.
Okay.
So the reason why it's called that, it's because your head basically has like very thin blood vessels. And that is like how I came to be as a VTuber. How I managed to get into all of it. I mean, it goes deeper than that, so I'm gonna try to explain it as simple as possible. But yeah, the Moya Moya just basically means that it's a health condition that has to do with your blood vessels on your head being thin, and because of that, your body can have limitations. Your body also has like easy chances to get seizures, strokes, epilepsy, anything that I didn't know that I had in my previous life, I suddenly have now in this new life, and I have to be cautious about it. It can make me feel very exhausted or feel very, very powerful. And by powerful, I mean like, can you imagine? Okay, so when you drink coffee, do you know what coffee does to your blood vessels? By the way, in a more
it's like throttling it, right? They shrink it just a little bit.
Exactly. So coffee and me do not really get along, but sometimes it can make me like really powerful because it just means that my blood vessels are getting even thinner. So I have to be very careful. But that also means that when you put your hand on the tip of a hose and you suddenly see like the water pressure going even faster, but that's just because the hole is getting smaller and smaller and the water pressure is just exploding from there. So imagine that as my superpower. So my body can go even faster, and I can think even faster and talk even faster. Because I was not like this. Earlier you mentioned that you, as in your early days, you were like a chaotic kid. Actually, I was quite the opposite. I'm like I was a very boring, shy, and nerdy kid. And now that I'm a VTuber, I cannot shut the hell up.
I mean, I like it. You've explained it perfectly to me, and I can't help but feel a sense of camaraderie, at least in terms of our personality.
Yeah, I mean, they do say that opposites attract. So you're very chill, and I love your chill, by the way. And I'm here like, oh, this person's super professional. What if I'm too fast for them? What if I start asking questions and I become
no,
I get there.
Me being chill and professional also goes hand in hand with how lax I am on the so-called rules.
Understandable.
I mean, we were even like a minute, 2 minutes late. It doesn't bother me.
Very good.
With one stipulation, the one thing that I have that will make me upset is lack of communication. It has a trauma point to get to the moment that we were supposed to start, and there's been nothing talked about. But you're perfectly fine, obviously. We talked about this for 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. We've been planning this for a bit, so...
Yeah. I've been looking forward to it so very much, honestly. I got a lot to share. In fact, chat, I have a surprise at the end of the stream that I want to share with all of you. So stay tuned until the end.
Yeah, all the way through. You better listen to our beautiful voices and staring.
You gotta
stare.
You gotta hook them. You gotta hook them so they can stick around. The surprise will be a very, very interesting one.
Yeah, very good.
Not for real. It's actual news. I decided to brand those here for the first time ever. I haven't told them in any other stream I didn't tell it to anybody else. I'll tell them right here tonight.
Everyone does this to me. I've never understood. I want full transparency right now. I do not ask anybody to like share their special thing with me. Like not beforehand. It is usually a question I ask to prod at them to see if they'll allow me anything. Every time, without fail, it's them bringing it up, and I'm like, what the heck? I love it. It makes me so happy and giddy.
Good. As everyone should be. Just kidding.
So on the blood vessels in your head being thin, and you're talking about coffee, because something that I know that caffeine does is it extracts water from your body and pumps it through your veins faster. So you're prone to dehydration if you drink a bunch of don't drink a bunch of water and drink a bunch of coffee. Does a similar thing happen to you? Do you find yourself dehydrated faster because of that?
Oh yeah, definitely. One of the special notes that the doctor always tells me is like, please, for the love of God, stay hydrated, and also don't eat these like greasy foods that can make you dizzy. I gotta eat healthy by obligation almost. I go 50-50 on them. You drive a hard bargain. All my scientists that are always attending my body, but I'll do my best.
I mean, if you want to live at least somewhat comfortably, I would assume, yes.
Yeah.
Very intriguing. I like how you've tied it in to your VTuber, this new birth, as it were, for you, a new step forward in your life. I don't usually ask this question until the end of this, but what does it mean for you to be sane? Well, Saincisco, not mentally sane.
What does it mean to be sane? Well, what I can tell you about that is that it's a very broad term, because I don't even know what sane is. In fact, let me quiz you. Let me ask you questions, interviewer.
Okay.
By any chance, do you remember the notes that I wrote in the form that I actually wrote to you? Do you remember what I classified myself as?
I was literally reading it today. I know what it says. My brain does not want to process that information. Hold on.
That's one of the curveballs that I wanted to throw at you today, because it's something that I wanted to bring up that I rarely bring that up, but it was one of the terminologies that I used to describe myself. Aside from calling myself a transforming VTuber or an interviewer VTuber, I also consider myself the identity crisis VTuber.
I love it. I was pouring through what you sent, and I see Homunculus, the Shapeshifter, and there it is, the identity crisis transforming VTuber.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We have actually met before in a previous life. You and I. Really? Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I debuted about a year ago. I was very different. I was not this form. I actually had other forms, many other forms, because my chat writes my lore, and my chat gets me my new VTubers, and they inspire to make tons of other VTuber models. And my scientists built my body to go to many different shapes. So I have many identities. Oh. I was either part of the ocean vast of sea VTubers. I was a whale shark VTuber, or I was like a zombie VTuber in the past. And you may have seen me around. Certain support VTubers, I was being tagged on, or my name was being thrown around, or all over the place. So yeah, I've actually met a long time ago. You probably may not even know who I am on the streets, but I know who everyone is.
Man, I thought I was the one who had the ability to say that as someone who once followed like 9,000 people all at the same time. But this is a different way of knowing everyone, because now I'm like, oh, I want to pour through my memory banks and see if I can find. Okay, I see. Well, it's a pleasure re-meeting you.
No problem. It's an honor. The honor is completely mine. I'm so glad to finally be here.
Well, yes, here you are. I'm sure at that point in us meeting, Poison Points as a name wasn't even brought up yet. It wasn't even conceived or birthed. I mean, I'm glad that I have this show so things like this could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, your name, Saincisco.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with this name for yourself?
Ooh. 50% is tied to my, my previous life, and 50% is tied to my new identities in plural. So yeah, Sain is just basically an umbrella term for all the forms that I am. But I'm always, then the word Sain is in all my transformation names. I am either Neo Sain, Hex Sain, Sain Kai, Saincisco, or etc. All the forms and all the brandings, all the all the stuff that I've had, they're always like there. But the name Cisco is just like a personalized, tied to my identity. It's not very original, but at the same time, it sounds kind of cool, and I decided to kept it because as someone who has been reincarnated, also known as Isekai, into this VTuber world, I wanted to keep something to remember from all the things that kept me in reality.
Okay.
Or is this the new reality? Ooh, I don't know. I'm still figuring that out.
Wake up, as they say.
Yeah. Wake up.
I love
like a Digimon. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You have many forms, and honestly, I love VTubers who do that. Like, they have their own personalized lore around it, of course, if they have one character that they are and the other one that they're not at that same time. Or in your case, you are all of them, just transforming in between. Which super cool. I love stuff like that. It gets me what's the best way to put it?
Heyo?
Hey, well, never mind.
You decided that. I'm excited.
Turnt. Thank you, Rig. You get me turnt.
Yeah, I heard a T, so I was gonna say that one too. Nah, you're good.
The VTuber Majin Buu. Honestly, that was one of the things I thought of. There's so many things that you can do, and you have that freedom, right? You have the freedom to be anything. Speaking of that, I was curious, what forms are you able to take? Do you have any ones that give you distinct advantages?
Of course. You want me to show you right now, or is that gonna mess up the setting? I mean, I can switch back form.
I'll get my hands right on that filter button, and we can adjust as we go.
No, I'm only gonna tease one right here, and that's it. I'm gonna show it right. It will not mess up your setup, I promise.
Okay.
So let's see. All right, go. Don't blink your eyes on chat. Let's see if I can do this right here. Let's see. I remember. Here we go. Huzzah!
Oh, yes.
Did I disappear? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you disappeared for 1 second, but there you are.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, there I am. Hi.
Hello.
It's me, Saint Kai. I'm a little tiny, but I'll get back to a regular size right now. You don't have to touch anything. If I press this button, I will go right back exactly in the position where I was. There you go. Boing.
There we go. And
that's it. That's enough of a tease. You want to see them?
Oh, I was going to say, can I assume that Kai is the Japanese spelling?
Oh, Kai. No, it's Kai. Kai.
Oh,
Kai, well, basically, it has a lot of symbolism. It can also be used in Spanish as well.
Okay.
It can be because I tried when I picked that word for that transformation. I tried to associate it and tie it to all the things that belong to my previous life, because I'm someone who really loves I love the beach, I love the ocean, and I was raised and born literally like right next to the ocean. I was and that's what it was my childhood home. So it is tied to a lot of those places there. A lot of local names and local words as well. But it also does have like a big use in like Asian talk. But I try to keep it to tied to my roots.
Okay. And I take it that you have a love of sharks.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like most people's. There's a lot of popular TV tubers out there that are sharks. And I blend it when I went. Trust me when I say when I became a whale shark VTuber, because it is a whale shark after all. Mm-hmm. It had tons of it had tons of benefits to it. I got to meet so many other people because I was blending in a right atmosphere. You as a you're someone who knows a lot about blending.
Mm-hmm. This is true. I know a little bit about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I love doing that. That's the reason why I like transforming into a lot of different forms, so I can fit right in. I see. I've been recommended. I've been very well accepted in many other communities of many other creatures and species of VTubers, and they are so adamantly want me to become one of them someday. Like for example, right there in chat, we have someone who is a dinosaur VTuber, and they so want me to be when is Sain going to become a dinosaur? So they can be one of us. And I was like, oh, don't worry. So it's coming sometime.
We will, I'm going to put mine on the table. When are you going to be a poison dart frog?
Poison dart frog. Ooh. Oh, well, if I were to be someone poisonous already, I can already associate that to my form called Hexane. Hexane is, the word hex is in there, but there's elements to poison and there's elements to like sinister and villainous stuff, because inside my lore, of my VTuber lore, all of my forms are not just mine, but they are also their own, their own identities and their own people that are walking around as well. Yeah, they have become like kind of like clones, so they're out there in the loose as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think a better one would have been a frog, just overall. Maybe not necessarily poison dart frog, because we got our nice little cute frog army community that I don't take part of because I'm nervous and introverted. But
that's fine.
Although yes, Gate is they are a Binturong VTuber, probably the most niche that you could ever get in terms of animals. Okay, I see.
You see? Didn't expect that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, your hair can shift colors. Hold on, now I'm just curious, like, how many different colors you have?
Ooh. Too many. Sometimes I even forget how to transform into them. They're all hidden inside the buttons on my body. You gotta touch my body. That's why I got a button on my neck, so I can like it's not an eject button. It's actually like a danger button, so I can go back to my main form.
I see. Oh no, you said buttons on your body and pushing them, and now all of a sudden, like, the situation has changed. The context is different.
Yeah. Some people mistake the buttons for something else, if you know what I mean.
Oh no. Well.
Oh no.
Okay, that is for a different interview, and
that definitely.
Usually that interview happens after this interview, not live or streamed anywhere. So. It's fine. It is what it is.
You're good.
Yeah. So I have a bit of a curveball question for you.
All right.
Being someone who has been in a myriad of communities at this point, and you've seen
Mhm.
a lot of different things from different angles. How do you feel about the state of the VTuber community as a whole?
Ooh, interesting question. Honestly, the state of the VTuber community as a whole right now is it's very diverse because I think the more it goes, the more traditional what used to be a VTuber standards are kind of breaking apart,
Mhm.
and people are just kind of doing their own thing. So, I mean, I don't want to sound like so vague, but I mean, it's just everywhere at this moment. It's absolute chaos, to be honest. But it's at the same time, if you stay in the community that you want to stay on, or the circle of friends, then it will not look any different as if you were just a bunch of like friends who just stream together instead of trying to follow a path of like being in as a whole. If you go, for example, if your life as a VTuber is staying on Twitter, terminally online, you will have a terrible time probably. But if you stay on your fellow, Discord friends with all your dino buddies or fish buddies or your other people, then you're gonna have a nice time, probably and hopefully. But overall, I love it. I still love the VTuber community. No matter where I go, I've been very well accepted, and that's the state of the VTuber community right now. It's I wouldn't say it's completely in shambles. You can still meet many wonderful individuals, those who haven't even become a VTuber or those who already are established VTubers, and we can all mutually support each other. So, yeah, it's just like friend circles. It depends on where you go.
That is a good answer, because now that you've pointed it out, honestly, I hang out with my friend group, my personal friend group here, and I have started to not feel the outer influence of the VTuber quote-unquote community as a whole on my experience. Not like it used to be for me, because I started off alone. I didn't know anybody personally, and it was hard to get me into a community that I could trust. And eventually I did. I worked my way into a very solid spot with my friends. But, going around, I used to be the VTuber supporter in VCare, all that stuff. And seeing the evolution, or at least I would even say living the evolution, has both tainted and clarified my view of people in general, beyond what we see on screen, beyond how we perceive them in a Twitter post. It's good and bad. I think any community, you can put that label on there, but I see the good in my friends and the smaller folk, which is why I love this show. I like to have the smaller folk on because well, they're cute and they talk about so many fun things, and it makes me so happy.
Pardon my question. By smaller folk, do you mean like the ones that are? It all depends on their numbers, or the ones that are starting, or it's the small?
It's always been a mixture of that for me, actually, because without any bias towards looking at you're small, or this person's big comparatively, empirically looking at what they get in terms of average viewers. Sometimes those people, if we're around like that 3 average viewer, even lower mark, sometimes those people just need a stage to sit on and talk about themselves. And I love them. I like some of my favorite interviews are those people, because God, the algorithm can seriously fuck with you some days, some weeks, some years. And
I have a lot to share with that, but I have a lot to share with my own experiences in that, So coming from someone who was literally, look, when I started being a VTuber, before I was a VTuber, people asked me, "Oh, Sain, you're so experienced on everything you do, and so popular now?" Question mark. But how what did you used to do before? absolutely nothing because I was just a regular shit poster back in Facebook. I did not have, a year before or so, I only had like 20 followers on Twitter. And that's when I became a VTuber and I started like just growing little by little, just following steps. And I started becoming big, but it's coming from someone who's small and knowing other small people and also, small people. Sorry, I just sound so silly, but you know what I mean. Talking like this, what we were talking about, and now getting to know people that have around the same numbers that I do, I can understand them completely. I can say that I completely understand where you're coming from because a lot of people who are just starting have a lot of, they just have a lot of fun ideas that are still, starting to sprout. And that's like a very organic feeling. And people that have already grown. Let's say, for example, pointing. I am, by the way, I'm someone who's very like to the point in terms of like not transparent, but direct, very very direct. Let's say, for example, someone who is like a partner status person probably already has a criteria who is already established, and they had to break from the organic to be, in order to form and shape the massive generalized audience that they have. So they have to, just cater to that audience, and the organic feeling just kind of like decimates. If you're someone who's not like who likes the average stuff, for example, you who are a big connoisseur of like very organic stuff, you may not find appeal into someone who's like very corporate or someone in partner status. So I'm starting to understand those kind of people, and sometimes I have gotten the opportunity to talk them behind stage. And that's really what I feel. It's like, oh yeah, I would love to do this, but my chat would kill me, or hell, my numbers would go down.
Yeah, to not like just say, big, small, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I've not had the opportunity to meet with someone who is at least much, much larger than me. I understand on a basic level, like I get it. I know exactly what goes on behind the scenes because I've researched it. I've seen it talked about.
Yeah.
And that doesn't deter me. Like I might not watch them as much, not because they're of their niche, but specifically because I feel nervous watching the chat scroll. But I love. I would love the opportunity to pick somebody's brain and learn everything there is about their process and all that stuff. Because I'm a brain picker.
Yeah, that's we have very different ways of like approaching our guest, and because I wanted to pick the brain of certain individuals, whether they were big or small, I took an alternative. Okay, right now I know you didn't ask for this, but I'm gonna share a bit of a story if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Yeah, something that was on my mind when I was like trying to check how we both do our own things. I don't have a form or anything for people to like write who they want to be, who wants to be interviewed, because if I put that in a broad statement, it's gonna give me a headache. You're very brave for doing that kind of stuff. Because and so what I do, the way I pick them is, I know it sounds a little biased and it may hurt the feelings of other people. I don't go for like numbers, or I don't have a criteria at all. I just have a legitimate interest, and hopefully legitimate power level, for lack of a better term, that can allow me to talk to that person. Because let's say, for example, at the beginning when I was a very, very tiny VTuber, I was like, there's no way I can ask this person with like 5K followers on Twitch to collab with me on my silly little show. At least maybe on a scale, realistically, because they may be a little more busier. Like I mentioned, to quote previously my own stuff, they may be more busier with more work, and maybe someone on my own element, on my own field. So I just wave around that area, and that's how I talk to some people. And there is truth to that, as cruel and as direct as it is. I know there's out there bigger VTubers who are just begging to collab with no criteria at all. But I'm so sorry to those people. It is just too difficult to approach you.
Oh yeah.
It's it is. I am not brave enough because I am afraid of like being put, turned down. Fortunately, my work, my journalistic work as being Neo Sain, the traveler VTuber who goes around the city of VTuber trying to explore, has not failed me. Everyone who I've asked so far has been extremely well and generous to come to my show to some capacity or talk with me behind screens to share with me some knowledge about the VTuber community and their own experiences. Some I kept to my own and have been extremely priceless information. And
yeah.
some has been, just an amazing time. So what I was going with this is like, you mentioned you like to pick someone's brain. So let's say I saw a VTuber who really interested me because their design and their story and everything seems so interesting. And I'm so glad that I approached people because of that way. You have your own ways. I chase down some of them and in my own ways. To quote something you said on a previous stream, you mentioned, I made things so that you were my friend. I remember those words you said in one stream. Mm-hmm. And I could say in my own words, I made this path so that you can be able to be my guest. Mm-hmm. So I made it that way possible.
I see. I don't think, like, it needs to be said, there's like no, I should put in quotations, no bad approach to what you do, what I do, what somebody else may do. I think where it crosses the line is if the only motivation is you're bigger than me, you're gonna get on my show or something like that. That's in a, because it's not black and white on that. There's so many semantics, but you understand what I mean.
Absolutely.
If you come into an interview and all you expect is the numbers and you don't expect to glean knowledge from somebody, I think then you're doing that for the wrong reasons.
Oh no, I never do this for clout. Trust me when I say that. I do it with it is my passion. It is something that I love doing. And I have no regrets starting this. It is my absolute favorite hobby. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to go at it in all directions. I can even share something more about it if you may give me a chance about that.
Go right ahead.
All right. So, I mentioned that I interview VTubers. That was not the thing at the beginning. I didn't want it to be an interviewer VTuber. I actually wanted to be a VTuber who interviews everyone that I seem fascinating on the internet, just for the sake of just picking their brains as, the educational teacher that I used to be in my previous life. So I was like, I'm always curious to know about individuals, whether they are from very sus communities or very red flag communities or anything. If I have an opportunity to sit down with someone and actually pick their brain, that would be an amazing opportunity. And it just so happens that tomorrow I may have that opportunity. Tomorrow and today.
I see. Now you have me curious.
Oh yeah, you should be.
Okay, so but is it your goal now to interview everybody or anybody in this case, or is this?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It still is. In fact, I am talking I'm talking flesh tubers. I'm talking, you know what that means, right? Flesh tubers is
I've had my one flesh tuber on the show.
Yay. Well, if you can look back as far as my catalog of interviews, the first 2 that I interviewed that were not branded as VCS, VTuber Chat Show, they weren't anything like a content creator or anything like that. It was just someone who used to go to competitive fighting tournaments, and I interviewed them because they wanted a chance to just talk on a stream. And there was another one who was a person who used to work in the military, and they were just sharing those kind of stories on my stream. And that was an absolute honor because it was so different from everything that I often hear.
Okay, I see. You also briefly mentioned, I don't know if this is what you meant to say, but you briefly mentioned that you're afraid of being turned down.
Afraid of being turned down.
Or at least that's what I may have heard that wrong, but
yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I say that in like I don't want to keep using the phrase like lack of terms, but the meaning of like being like turned down is just like it's about asking like at the wrong time at the wrong place, because I don't want to be like judged or by trying to seem like someone who's just asking for some kind of clout or using people in any way. I try to be as as transparent as possible when I seek people, when I tell them, when I slide into their DMs and ask them about, this kind of work you do here and there, if you feel comfortable by this type of date, we would like we would like to have you on our show. And imagine asking that to someone who, for them, this kind of career it's already a full-time job. They're not gonna slide you in there because that's like not working. Probably, or something like that. It's
even as simply as like, because I feel the same way sometimes. I've reached out to a few people who I know will probably never acknowledge my existence, because perhaps to them,
don't say it like that.
Well, I mean, you could get lost in the wave of emails or DMs. It happens. But even in the regards of like, someone could look at that and be like, well, they're smaller than me. I don't have anything against them, but they might be trying to get clout or just get my viewers. That's what it seems like. And you can't help that. You just... I've actually interviewed with a podcast interviewer. He's not a VTuber, but he is a podcaster. And he told me, because I had my doubts and worries, that just do it. It doesn't matter how big they are, where you are in life, what time of day you go for. Follow up with another message. It can mostly only be met with no response. If that was it, okay, you move on to the next person. You ask the next person that you want on the show, and you keep going until you find that special person that you want, the one that you've really wanted to go after. And who knows? At that point, if you've been doing it for a long time, which I know you have, you've been ramping it up and continuing down doing the interview path, somebody is going to notice that you are authentic, you are genuine. You genuinely interview people, and you're not just doing it for clout. And maybe someday they'll either want to be on, they'll ask you, or the next message you send is the one they'll notice.
Of course.
You never know. I think that's like the biggest takeaway. So zero fear. Ask anybody.
No, don't worry. Right tomorrow, I have no fear. I'm gonna ask Gargura to be on VCS.
Well, being completely transparent, I have messaged Germa twice. Still hasn't returned my calls. Germa, I'm here. I'm waiting.
Today, Poison Point. Tomorrow, Ludwig, the YouTuber.
Like, listen, it could happen. You never know. They could just do it as like let's just entertain them. And you never know what you're going to get out of that.
Iron Mouse insane. I have a lot to say about that name, Iron Mouse.
Oh. Now you have me even more curious.
Yeah, I was gonna give you a chance because I feel like I've been like over talking all these like interview stuff. I know that was, but you feel free to ask me anything honestly about my own stuff that you were curious about. I don't know if you have like a set of questions, or if you want me to keep talking about those stories.
Oh, no,
I have a lot.
So the way that these work is I do have my list here, but at any point I am prepared to derail, as it were, and I love derailing because that means conversation's happening, and I love conversation. So
yeah. All right. So want me to talk about the Iron Mouse quickly?
Oh yeah, go for it.
All right. So just recently, I had a small vent, and I love Iron Mouse with all my heart. She's one of my OGs from day one because we both have something in common. I have my condition. She has her condition, and it's both different. Both have to do with something about very life-changing conditions. And we're both Puerto Ricans. And when I started being a VTuber, with all the passion and interest that I had of being a VTuber, my first, very not knowledgeable, or I want to say a bit ignorant circle of friends, they were like, "Oh, you just want to be Iron Mouse. Oh, you just want to be Iron Mouse." And it's just like, "Oh, you'll never be Iron Mouse because of X or Y reason, or all that stuff." Or, "Oh, you're gonna do interviews just like Iron Mouse. Oh, what are you gonna do? Like, are you playing this game just like Iron Mouse?" And that name was brought to me so much that I, for 1 second, only one split second, I said, "Dang, do I really like Iron Mouse these days?" I'm like, "No, wait, hold on a second. That's not about liking Iron Mouse. It's just them making me trying to putting it in my head so much, because I was not in a good circle of people."
Mhm.
And it was just that one terrible experience that I had, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of fresh starting VTubers have this experience. This is something that I talk about very often with many other people that are VTubers as well. They're starting, because there are definitely set of expectations when it comes to this field, because the broad majority of the audience have a huge expectation that VTubers need to be, "Oh, you're a VTuber, that means you must do at some point a karaoke, or at some point all these things that are that VTubers do on my TV. Oh, that's because they're watching the corpos for the most. It's not because their eyes are on the indies like us, that get the amount of viewers like us. We're doing our own independent thing, our own independent projects, and you want us to be like corpos, and then you have these expectations and pressures on us." And it's not exactly what I want. It's not exactly what I thought it would happen. At the beginning, I was like, "Oh yeah, all my friends love VTubers. I'm pretty sure they'll love me." Nope. The people who loved me and appreciated me first as a VTuber, it was absolute strangers who were just looking for an ordinary streamer to follow, because they were probably niche, or they have something mutually interesting. And it's just funny how you become, how you start a community and everything. And Iron Mouse made me just learn all about these things, because of course they were just an independent VTuber at the beginning, who also started with a free model, or all that stuff. And I've been learning the path little by little, and I'm relating it. I don't have the success that they do, but there's a lot there to talk about. Iron Mouse has been a key part of my VTuber journey, and yeah, I appreciate them a lot for it.
Yeah, I can relate, not in the regard of somebody told me that oh, you can't do this, or you can't do that, except for one minor occurrence that I had that happen. It was myself telling myself that. I was worried when I started doing this segment, because I didn't want to just be the variety streamer. I didn't feel right doing that. Hold on, I got a cat right in front of me now. Hello, hey baby. You can move at any point.
Oh Lord.
Okay,
it's okay.
But I would tell myself that man, this show was just like the Weary 101, isn't it? This is just like Iron Mouse's Speak with the Devil.
Speak of the Devil.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. I constantly would tell myself that, and I had to force myself, with the help of my friends, to literally stop. It was really bad. So, not exactly the same way, but in a very similar space. For a minute, I didn't interview VTubers, because I don't know what it was, but I felt like if I found one of you, I suddenly is like, "Oh, I can't become you," or something like that. I'm in a better headspace now. I don't think that way at all. I love everybody. Well, asterisk right there. I love a lot of the people that I meet, because everybody brings something fresh to the table, even if they're a corpo, even if they're indie, anywhere in between, even if they're not a VTuber. There's so much to learn from people that I think is not valued as much anymore in our space, I should say. And that's where I've gotten confidence in my format, my streams, the interviews, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning a bunch from you. I've learned a lot from Zavastria, from Valentine. The list goes on of people that I've had on the show.
We have a lot of mutuals, or at least people who have been in this show too. Right before I want to say you interview Yomi Quinley. I also was. They also like asked me if they could be like in my show, and that was like when they were starting out as well. And I also had ID10, which you had here twice. Lovely individual.
Oh yes.
And tons of it's just I just that's the part of the VTuber community that you definitely want to like a lot, because they are people who definitely you can mutually help each other, understand each other. And if you asked me earlier the question, I'd be like, yeah, that is my VTuber community. Those kinds of people who tend to just like have projects together or talk about mutual things and all this stuff. And then it doesn't matter. I always have open arms and I'm very open-minded about everyone, but also not afraid to like move anyone out of my circles. I have very limited.
I mean, just recently I had a fellow who bombarded me and wanted to be on the show, and I'm not gonna have you on here if that's the attitude you're gonna bring to it. Obviously it was a lot deeper than just that, but
it's complicated. It's like I've had people who also wanted to like self-invite themselves on my DMs, and I'd be like, I already have like a list of like 20 people. It's a lot. I only have like 2 or maybe no one, because I guess gotta do my own thing. They don't need to. You're not obligated to answer their replies at all. You gotta do your own thing. They got to acknowledge that there's a line of work you gotta do. Or even if it's not work, even if it's just a passionate project, you already got your set things to do. Period. That's it. I have a lot of those.
Your time is just as valuable as theirs in that regard.
In fact, let me share something here quickly. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh, go ahead.
Something very funny that went trending for a while. Let me see if I can retweet it later, because I was thinking about it today. It is this one very special DM that I got. This is not a VTuber. This is just an IRL person who was in my Facebook Messenger sending me a message. Like, this was not even when I was popular. This was when I was just starting as a VTuber. They knew me when I was not a VTuber. I became a VTuber, and like a couple of months after, that's like, oh, you're a VTuber now? Like, oh, we don't share like similar likes anymore. You're like a corporate person. I am just like I am not even oh my god, yeah, Danny remembers all that. it became a copy paste on Twitter, because they gave me like a long like rant. It was just them talking to themselves about like, oh, you're a VTuber, Sain. We have no mutual interest. There's no reciprocation here between us. Go out of my way. Become the evil corpo that you are. And I just posted the screenshot of that DM on my Twitter, and for some reason, a lot of voice actors started like quoting it and using it, and they started acting like legitimate voice actors. Even like other popular VTubers started reading it and making like videos about it on TikTok or on Twitter as well. Like, it was just funny. It just it's like, wow, it just sounds like like someone having like the most existential crisis. I didn't even talk to this person ever, and then I only said hi to them like it was like 3 years ago, and that's it. And then suddenly, oh, just go away. You're a VTuber who's an evil corpo. No feelings, nothing like that. It's like, who the hell is this person?
I will say, this has come up multiple times. We have confirmed this. This is a real condition that we need to put in like the science journal. VTubing is the gateway drug to VTubing. So that person may have been trying to go sober. Like, they didn't want to have any VTubers in their life because they knew they would become one.
My God. No, it's just it was a wild ride. It just surprised me how that went viral and all those retweets. Yes, sorry. So yeah, I wish I could find it. I don't remember exact words, but I have some of the videos saved on my PC, and I was honored by some of the people that quoted that. I also got a bit of like, not there was no backlash at all, because when people found like the origin of the person, like, ooh, this is not a nice person at all. I was like, proceed with this burning, because they totally deserve it.
Oh yes.
One Google search and it'll tell you the type of like red pill based person they are, and that is a no.
It's funny. In a completely different context, I had somebody tell me I would never be Gargura. And that was it was a more controversial bit of like context that I had for that one, so I won't bring it up today on stream, but I always thought it was funny because I'm like, I don't want to be Gargura. I'm a frog for one, and I don't want to do what Gargura does. Gargura is insane.
Oh, speaking of insane, I mean that my name is in there too.
Yeah,
but no, I mentioned earlier that I wanted to like, just figure out like more about people that were from all kinds of community. So I've been trying to like, not like chase or anything like that, but just talk to people in general that would be able to like share their stories about those type of like fields that would be a little bit like, if I asked some of my VTuber friends and I asked them, yo, check out this person. So I just put the file on the table and like, what do you think about this person to be on VCX? And they're like, Sain, you are nuts. This is gonna get you canceled. Are you really gonna go with this? I'm like, I could try, and I kind of know them because we have history somehow, but I guess, and then that's gonna be tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST.
Okay.
Someone.
I should be able to at least stop by on my break. I will definitely catch the VOD.
Yeah.
Can I talk about you? Oh my god, where are my words going?
Yeah,
I'm dealing with a cat over to the side because it is now time for her attention. So when you were making your basic lining for your show and interviews, did it ever cross your mind, or has it crossed your mind, that having somebody on who's controversial is actually not even close to something that can get you canceled?
Yeah, I know. I know that it's not like that. I mean, the reason I mentioned that is because they mentioned it to me that there's a possibility that it could be like a red flag. Let's say, for example, and this is like a very popular individual. They're like, oh, do you really want to invite the Wonder Bread guy? You know the history behind that person? And it's just gonna... you're gonna get like, associated with this person. And it's like, not really, because I'm doing it for like, educational purposes and people know me. I hope they do. I'm hoping they do in the end, because it's not like I'm giving them like a platform or excuse. I just want to have like a legitimate conversation with them if they give me the opportunity. And it's like, it's been there on the table.
Yeah, like
the bread.
I've had this pop up in conversations privately. Like, aren't you ever worried that someone's going to say something heinous or like a slur, or they're going to just start trying to say like the worst shit possible? And I think that interviewing is foolproof, almost, with that asterisk again, because whatever they say is on them. They're the ones making the fool out of themselves.
Yeah.
And if it gets too bad, you deafen and you kick them, and that's it. That's the interview.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like that. It's gonna. It could happen. Luckily, I have not had anyone who is like that on my list of guests that I've had in the past. I think the closest that I've had was like someone almost slipping a word, but they didn't say it fully. But they were a little bit loosey-goosey on that. But it's like, okay, you don't have to share that. I didn't lash them out. I didn't call them out at the moment. At the end, they apologized because that was just the kind of person that they got a little bit too confident and cozy on the show. but then they quickly backpedal on that. But it wouldn't be like, it's never something that I completely told them it's not something I condone. I tell people always about that. I'd write it in my description. I'll let the audience decide if they want to like to trust me on what my take on that.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that.
It's not even like is there a right way to handle that situation or what? I was just kind of curious what you thought about it because it is a big worry that could pop up. Like if someone else was watching and wanted to do something like this, like what if that happens and you get someone who you thought was fine and then all of a sudden they just go full unhinged on you. At the end of the day, it is them. Like your audience should at that point understand it. That wasn't your fault. All the evidence points to the contrary. So,
yeah, you will have little video evidence of what it was like.
Exactly.
So if anyone wants to go opposite of that, then that's on them.
Especially if it's live. Like, what are what are you going to do?
No, yeah.
And that's why, like I've had some memes I've made in the past, like what if I got what the heck is his name, Darkside Phil on the screen.
Ooh.
Yeah, it would be less him that would be the issue and more of the people he would bring at that point.
Yeah, also there's a lot of toxicity that comes along with that kind of audience because they get a lot of hate watchers when they sip into your chat and all that stuff.
It would ruin the dynamic of like how chill chat is right now.
You know when a Twitter post sometimes loses the target audience and it just gets like vastly retweeted by the people who don't even know anything about it. It's something like that too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That has happened to me. I had so I may be my passion and my love for being a VTuber. It's the doing podcasts, which I do every Sunday night on youtube.com/Saincisco. And I also do my interviews on Twitch. And I also have other sides of me, If you look at my VTuber model, they have a very lovely look to it. And some of the posts that I make on my Twitter have been made to just look a little bit, on the YouTuber side. I'm not exactly a YouTuber, but I do have a bit of like, a bit of that in me. Like I said earlier, I have an identity crisis and I have all kinds of fields that I like to explore, not just based on individuals, like, species of VTuber or anything like that, but also the type of things that I can do. I'm variety. And also I do like a little bit of being a bit of a YouTuber sometimes, just for the tease. I'm very self-aware, but also, I also like to tease it because my model's there. I gotta sell it well. And it also helps it pays the lights, as I say sometimes, because when there's people who want to genuinely support me for on my streams by subscribing and all that stuff, but in another side there's people on my timeline who don't visit my streams and maybe they want to support the artistic side of it. Because literally right now, an hour before the stream, I had someone support me on Throne, and it was specifically designed to, like, if you're supporting that part of the Throne, you're supporting art being made of my VTuber in certain ways, and I get to keep some extra on the sides. It's like a thank you thing from someone in the audience. And I just like to do. I'm a bit of a workaholic. I work in many different fields. I work in the cafeteria. I work in the new supported job, and by nighttime, Neo Saim is out there in the dance club or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good analogy for it.
Yeah.
I am curious because we talked a little bit about Iron Mouse. And you being an interviewer, who is your dream guest? And I'm going to split this up. Who's your dream flesh tuber? And your
dream flesh tuber.
Or your dream VTuber. Well, and your dream VTuber, I should say.
And okay, that's a good one, because when it comes to like flesh tubers, I dang. Hold on. I guess someone that I would really like. It's someone who I've actually engaged with before. I'm gonna say the name of the flesh tuber first. I guess it would be Inferno Opni. Would be someone who I would like to have as a flesh tuber guest someday. I had the honor of being their quote unquote VTuber mama, because they did they are actually, I take a lot of inspiration from some videos that I make on their videos, because they tell the news, internet news, or internet drama or stuff like that on their YouTube channel. That's what they're known for. I do that too. I also tell the news of the internet on my YouTube channel, and that would be an amazing, honor to have on my show someday. And when it comes to VTuber, I think, honestly, I'm not even maybe before an easy answer would be saying Iron Mouse, but in a more in a more closer to date scale, I want to say Megalodon.
Okay.
Megalodon would be an absolute honor, because the way they do their show is an absolute, they're an absolute unit. They build their brand from the bottom up, and I've been there just being a lurker and a part of the audience, and they're awesome.
I see. So you admire them to the point of you want to learn. You want to, back to that picking the brain thing, because
exactly, that's where we'll go, because self-made VTuber from the bottom, and right now they are in a phase that it's really big. They blew up like ginormously. It's one of those I'm so sorry to use this comparison. It would be extremely unfair, and they actually meme about it. They're okay with this. It's not a Shy Lily. I don't want to compare them with Shy Lily, but if you were to say the tale of Shy Lily and the tale of Megalodon has something in common, from like the humble beginnings to like using different, starting with the VTuber models at the face they wear and the ones they have now, and they both have like a year-long plan and a lot of production that goes in the background. Because that's what I admire about those kind of VTubers, because on the surface people say, oh, they just sit and watch TikToks, but you don't know all the decision making that goes in the background of whatever they do in general. All the production they gotta do, all the sponsorship, all the decision making they gotta make is huge. It is a huge rabbit hole of work that they actually put on. From art, to the other fields, we could be here pointing it out, and some people will be in disbelief, like, nah, I don't believe that. I still think that all they do is just sit down, react to TikToks, and call it a day. No, that's not it. There's a lot more that goes behind the doors, and you kind of want to pick up their brain where that actually starts, and how is the influence getting to these people. Sometimes the algorithm bless them, sometimes it's just something. It's just it's the grind, or they are very well adapted to search engine optimization. If you've seen like videos from like Sci-Fire, they love using that terminology, and I love that too. I am a very, very analytical person. I may be quirky, sane, haha, look at me, YouTuber on streams, but when it comes to like the background, I am extremely hyper analytical and a completely different person. But that kind of stuff sometimes would not be interesting to bring on my streams. So, on my streams, people will give me the little head pats, but when it's behind doors, I'm like, okay, this is what I gotta do. I gotta post at 8 in the morning. I gotta post this here, and I gotta do that over there to get all these things going, to get influence from these people, to get me this support here. What about the audience that doesn't watch me and they only watch me on the timeline and they want to support me there? I think about all the kinds of audiences, and I can go down that rabbit hole and not even stop talking, and that's what I love to analyze. It's become my favorite hobby. Ooh. I don't game anymore. I'm not a gamer anymore.
you just play games on stream, basically.
I play some games. Games. People know that I have like my own chaotic ways of playing a game. I sometimes punish people by playing certain games. I don't punish myself. I punish other people. It's a bit of a reverse psychology, to be honest.
I mean, that's a great way of looking at it. You and I are basically cut from the same cloth in terms of our ideology towards this thing, because a lot of people have told me this, and they think it's wild that when I look at somebody and I go, wow, they're very smart. And they're like, what do you mean? They make the dumbest content in the world. I would like everybody to know in chat that if you look at somebody and think they're dumb, you have been completely fooled. They're far, far smarter than you give them credit for. They know exactly what they're doing. Not always in a sinister way. I know a few people in a sinister way, but they know a lot about this stuff that even someone like me, and I'm sure you can relate, we can't even fathom how they understand that. And I think that's where our craving to interview these bigger people come from, because we want to we want to know, not just because it's helpful for us, but it's intriguing. The process is awesome.
It is.
It's absolutely wild, and I'll get Germ on the show eventually, and I'll pick his brain.
Can I be real? Can I be real with you?
Oh,
some of them really are. They could be. I am okay. So before I say the following word, let me tell you, I have a sharp tongue, and I'm not afraid to sometimes say things how they are. I've been known to, like, I have a bit of a whip sometimes, and I a bit of a snake tongue, and I can tell people exactly what they don't want to hear because it's what they most fear. But some of these people really are genuinely, a bit crazy, and that's how they get by. They no matter how self-aware they are, there is a little bit of craziness right there, or a little bit of like not smart in it. They can be a little dumb, but they even if you're self-aware but also dumb, does that make you smart?
It's like, that's so many layers is the thing, because like
it is.
A lot of people could look at it in the way you tackle things, the way you handle PR, that could be seen as dumb, even though you're doing really well.
Because I'm gonna mention flesh tubers. I mean, they're a completely different breed, and these people don't mind. For example, I see someone like I see the enigma that is someone like XQC, and it's like, but why? Why do people say that this person is smart? There's nothing smart about this person. They're going to make an ass out of themselves, and they make a profit out of it too. It's like
there's enigma. Not you, Enigma.
Oh shit! There's actually someone called Enigma in chat. I didn't see that. I swear you had no influence on my words just now. That was just literally like the terminology for it. But it's, you see them, and some people are going, "Oh yeah, this person is very smart," and they do all this content. I'm like, are they though? It's like they may be self-aware, but they're also a bit like disrespectful and disingenuous about the work that they do. And they're just being able to successfully capitalize from all that stuff. Capitalize. It came out like so funny.
No, I got it.
Going about that. There's a lot of rabbit holes there.
My friends don't understand me on this one. So I love the Voros twins. Genuinely. Like, I don't have I don't have a lot of intrigue into other viral creators, but for them it's different, because they are not dumb.
Actors.
They're actors. They're not dumb.
Yeah.
They're wrestlers, and everyone's just like, these are the stupidest people on the planet. But when you get down to the heart of it, if you compare the Voros twins to XQC, who has a bigger heart? And not just combining
twins.
Not combining the twins' hearts together literally, but like
they're so wholesome.
The integrity is completely different. That is to say, can you enjoy watching XQC? By all means, if you think he's dumb and you love that type of stuff, sure, go for it.
Yeah.
He's not for me.
Ooh, there's a lot. There's something that because this is something that Okay, this is a completely. This could be its own unique podcast. It's but here's a fun topic. People that are not not popular because of what they're trying to work on, but popular because they were chosen by the internet or chosen by a community to be like that. Because there's a living creature next to FQC, and this is not a reference to Meat Canyon's parody cartoon video.
I just watched that too.
There's actually like a demonic presence next to XQC, manipulating every action that the person does, and that kind of community is always around these individuals, and they're the ones who somewhat influence what they do, because it is a large hive mind, and he doesn't have full control of it. Some of these popular creators do not have control of their lives because this incredible gigantic entity that is, like, for example, you may call it whatever name. Some people say, oh, it's 4chan. No, it's something bigger or something different. It's these people. Oh, it's the Illuminati. No, there's definitely something in play there that wants to see them, being influenced in a certain direction. It's the same way you mentioned earlier, Dark Side Phil. There's a lot of hate watchers out there, but they're gonna keep feeding. It's like having a prisoner and feeding them just to see them dance.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's not the same presence for everybody. It's a case study that you can probably make out. Who is it? Who is the influence? Who is this? Who is because sometimes SQC has even poke it out for fun, because he said that he has a hive mind following him. And I remember how much influence he has had in some, let's say, for example, Ludwig made a show, and Ludwig was a show about voting for popularity, and it was completely messed up by SQC's audience. SQC did nothing about it, but then SQC caught on, oh, my audience is doing something to manipulate me to being the winner by purposely making me choose the wrong thing so that Ludwig's show gets canceled. And it legitimately pissed off Ludwig. And it's who is this entity? And that was the first time that I took note that this entity was behind this person. It was the same entity that let me bring this to the VTuber atmosphere and not be on a tangent for so long. Shy Lily. This is not clipped anywhere, but I was once watching her, and she was legitimately sad on one stream, and she's I wish I could play a certain video game, but no, that would be the wrong decision. And she was hinting it so much to see if chat would let her play the game, and nope, chat would not let her play the game, because chat wants to see Shy Lily reacting to TikToks. They just want to have a chill time. They want company girl. They don't want corporate girl. They want, company girl is the one that it's for example, you watch her watch one of those TikToks, but as soon as she turns on the Genshin Impact, for example, the views will drop down by 75%. It's it's not too little. It's still dream numbers for a lot of people. You go from 10K to 2K. That's still dream numbers to some people, but it's not 10K. It's not enough to pay whatever they got project doing in the background, and that's not gonna cut it. It's that entity keeping them prisoners. And this is why you like organic small VTubers, because they don't have that hive mind, chasing them in the background.
Yeah, because it's scary. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, it's gonna pay everything in your life. It's gonna make your life, all the dreams you want. But at the same time, at what cost?
I think that also can that can go hand in hand with what I've been thinking in my brain is, are you the influencer or are you being influenced as the creator? And I know what you mean when you talk about this stuff and the hive mind in general, but I've also seen huge creators rein that hive mind in, and they're the ones in control the entire time. You just don't notice it in first glance. I don't mean to keep bringing up his name specifically, but I think a good example is Germa. Everyone thinks that Germa is run by chat, but in fact, Germa runs chat himself He is the person behind everything that he does. All of his bits are his own. They're not something that his chat has forced upon him. If he relents to something, it's because he wanted to, not because somebody forced him to do it. It's a scary world up there. The higher views.
Yeah, it is. It can be. I mean, well, there's a lot I can say about it.
Yeah.
Because if I were in that position, it would totally fulfill a lot of dreams, but also cut down a bunch of dreams. And I feel like some of them are even being cut down right now. Because I remember when I said the joke that I like to torture chat by playing certain games. Let's say, for example, the scapegoat is Genshin Impact for me. That's why I usually often reference it. Genshin Impact is like a nothing burger. It's just like something that I play just to like pass the time, but there's like nothing new on it, or it's just like a grind of time, and it's just a bit chaotic time. Sometimes chat makes it their plan to make my time as miserable as possible if I am playing Genshin Impact, and it's become a dynamic that I love because it's it's always a fun time when I do. I managed to make something that really lowers the number into having it be engaging, because some people watch it want it to be engaging. It's but Genshin Impact isn't engaging enough for me. What do you want me to do? Put Subway Surfers in there? What do you want me to do? Put Family Guy funny moments next to it? Then I will do that because I can't do it. Fuck you all. And sometimes I play Genshin Impact at like 1 inch size on OBS, and like 90% of the screen is Family Guy playing. It's all that kind of stuff that I tend to do just to make it more dynamic or more interesting. Sometimes it works. It's a hit or miss, but yeah.
I mean, if you look at your view counter and you see 25 people and you've gotten like 1 chat in the last 10 minutes versus 4 viewers, and your activity feed is gone fuck wild, everybody's laughing, what is more rewarding to you at the end of the day? And not to say that I'll take the views gladly, but you know what I mean in that regard. Like, you gotta, honestly, it's so hard to say this because like I say this and it's like, holy shit, I'm just attacking myself right now. You just gotta do what you love at the end of the day. I love the interviews. I can't stress that enough. I love the interviews, but I get in my head about the games I play. So I don't stream other things aside from these interviews because I don't know who's gonna like what I play. I just gotta say fuck it. I'm gonna do it anyways.
I love it too. I mentioned that I'm not much of a gamer these days, and I do still love my games. I wish I had time to play them, but I got so many projects going on in the background. Sometimes I wish I had them more. I mean, even if you give me 72 hours on a day, it'd be like incredibly difficult at this point.
Oh yeah.
To carry out all the things that I want to do, and it's not like I'm capable of doing all these things. I also have to watch out for my health. And that sometimes takes like half of my day, and I either do a part-time or plan some stuff or just take care of personal life. It's a big book of stuff that I sometimes goes in the background that I wish I had more energy to do some days. But absolutely, the interviews, the podcasts that I do are like my absolute passionate project. But I also, like I said earlier, I also love doing the other side jobs on the sides, and they're great. I got a lot of supporters. I make a ton of people happy in a lot of different fields. And some people have said, oh, Sain, try to concentrate on one. That would not do it for me. I would feel unhappy if I wasn't doing the other thing. I guess that's why I have a lot of vtuber models as well, because I just like switching it up. I can't stay still in one place. But in one thing, I'm gonna have tons of other VTubers.
Yeah, you're gonna keep going.
Okay, we bossy.
Yeah, exactly. Doing like, you got to do it for you first and foremost. I think that goes hand in hand with the integrity part, where XQC is reigned by his chat, and someone again not fully like just saying the black and white, but Germa is the one who reigns his chat. To bring it down to someone who's a little bit closer, not exactly small, but closer to our level, someone like Simple Flips, who I love Simple Flips a ton. My dream interviewee, I would love to have him on because he's a great fellow. He has great grips on what his chat wants, and he puts the reins on them. He doesn't let them control him. And I think at the end of the day, the difference is it's what they love to do versus an obligation of what they have to do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. You know what? We talked so much about it, and we've barely even scratched the surface. Can I bring you on again another time just to have that be the sole topic that we do, and we just
absolutely
we podcast that one.
No, anytime. Just give me. Even if I have a schedule, by the way, let me give you the special treatment for you guys. I don't have a schedule. My schedules are like nothing. I just say it at the moment. But if you see me even having a schedule, just ask me just in case, because I sometimes love prioritizing these present projects, and this is like something that I love to do. I sometimes quote this every time that I say. I come to the point that I love more the making of a movie, sometimes more than the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
because those
agree.
are like have you caught yourself watching YouTube videos that are about like the history of this dead mall? Like, you don't go to the mall at all. The fuck, Sain? Oh, but whatever. I want to listen to it. Give me the 3 hours of the history of the dead mall, or the history of the dead franchise, or the dead franchise, or this other thing, why it became popular, the making of. It's like, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And someday I may even want to know, the making of Irisu.
I mean,
making of.
I did a stream about a month ago. It was called Interview with Myself. It was a little bit of a meme. I plan to actually do a more legitimate one another time. But it was more to press lore for myself, being fully transparent in that case. But it was actually a lot of fun. I went into it with a plan and came out of it very fulfilled that I did it that way. So maybe in the future I'll do I'll interview myself again, and we'll get like the full like start to finish, all of those questions answered.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, Sain, I have this I have a new segment. Oh, my phone's being weird. I have a brand new segment. Let's see if it works.
Yeah.
Come on, you want to work. Okay, it's called Hypothetical Theoretical. And what this segment is I've created a section of my Discord purely dedicated to asking the questions that we all need to know. Questions like from Mitsuda asking, what does the sound of 3 hands clapping sound like? All the way down to the most convoluted questions, such as from Buffy, if you basically were turned into a piece of broccoli by a wizard and that wizard ate you, what would happen if the spell wore off? But today I have a different question for you, Sain. I always crack myself up asking these questions. Hypothetically, theoretically, if somebody ethically sourced you their body parts upon their death, how would that make you feel? And I'm not just talking like they donated their organs to you for transplants. I mean, their body is now shipped off to you to use ethically.
Wait, hello? Call?
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, no, I didn't. All I heard was like, if the body was shipped to you, and for some reason the drop called for like a few seconds.
Oh, I apologize. If the body was not just given to you organ-wise for a transplant, it was just shipped to you, because it was ethically sourced to you. How would that make you feel?
It sounds like a psyop. I feel like I'm being tricked to know what I would do behind closed door. What happens in the basement of Sain's house? Are you a Fed? Are you a Fed?
No, I promise that whenever I go live, I put up the anti-Fed radar. So,
okay. So hypothetically, if that's something like that was sent to me, I mean, I would just like slap the return sticker back. But 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 you tell me, like, you know, what I could do with it. I honestly, I'm not gonna do any harm to it. It's a body, you know. I still want to do something ethical to it. I guess I'd just give it a proper burial, something. If I need to, if it needs to be like that. But if it get me in trouble, I mean, what are the laws of this hypothetical? Are we talking like in a fictional place, like I can do whatever with it, or are we talking? Because I have so many questions. Like I said, I'm a very analytical person. It's like all the things that are going in my mind around it. It's like, ooh, am I being expected to like analyze it or touch it to some degree? Because if it were me, if a body was sent to me, I guess I would properly bury it if there was like a way to not get accused by something. No, chat, I will not cook it.
It's ethically sourced though. Like it's illegal, fully legal for you to have that body.
That still would make me look weird if I could be like, oh, I have a chance to cook a body. What's wrong with you, Sain?
Let me explain the backstory of this question, because this is a question that came up in a private VC between me and a friend. We were watching my partner, Pinch Raccoon, play a game, and they have this redeem called Silly Hats, and a raccoon fur cap is one of their options for a silly hat. And they said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's ethically sourced."
It's ethically sourced. Yeah.
But you know, that's basically being like, "Hey, I just got this body. It was ethically sourced to me. I'm going to turn their collarbone into a scarf."
It's still weird. You're still, you know, doing something to a body. But anyways, if you want to do something, I have a really fun answer for you, and it is something related to my home country, which is one of the most bizarre experiences, uncanny, that still like blew my mind to this day. So I don't know if I mentioned it here. I come from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has all kinds of weird. This is not like a thing that people do, but it's been on the news for. It occasionally pops up in the news, like, oh, there goes another person in the family using the body of their loved one who just passed away and doing something with it because they have all the consent from the person who passed away. So you know what they do over there sometimes?
What do they do?
They you know how you what's the name of that? What's the word in English? When you know how they take the animals here in the US, and sometimes they dry their bodies and they put them on display.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something like that. What is that word called? When you can do that to like an animal's body. You know how they have like the head of a.
Why is now the word escaping me? Like I just had it.
Yeah.
It's like you stuff the animal.
Something like that.
But there's a more specific phrase for it. Yeah, taxidermy.
Taxidermy. Thank you. That's weird coming from you, Hagridio. I'll talk to you about that later. But anyways, taxidermy. It's similar to that because some people in Puerto Rico have gone as far as to like, oh, here is Johnny with their favorite like baseball cap and wearing their motorcycle clothing, and sometimes they put them in the front of the door for months and months, and it's just the body just in the outside of the house, just baiting from the sun, and taxidermy outside right there, and the person said, yeah, just put me like that, sit me on my favorite motorcycle because that's how I die, and that's how I So I'm like, yeah, you give me one of those bodies. I got a lot of cosplays. I just put one of the cosplays. I just put it there on the standee on the front door. You know, there's.
Okay. So
you want the fun answer? You said it's legal to do that, so I'm just gonna do one of my cosplays.
100% ethically sourced. This is a valid answer.
I'm just gonna use it to measure my cosplays. I'm just gonna use the extra body to be like a display mannequin. So it's gonna be looking like Boshi the Rock and all your favorite anime characters.
So I have a question then. A follow-up to that is,
yes.
Would you have the same happen to you if you were the ethically sourced body? Is that what you would want to be?
Absolutely. Heck yeah. Dress me like every VTuber ever that I that I become. Just put me on display. And in fact, like, raffle me to like the biggest donator on chat. Whoever gives the most bits.
You yourself can win your very own ethically sourced Saincisco body. Oh my god. That is delightfully morbid, and I love it.
I mean, I already wrote my will. It's on Twitter.
Yeah, there it is. You just made the tweet.
No,
okay.
like legitimately, like my will is actually on Twitter.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness.
That could be a story for right now, really quick, or for another day if you want to. Are you morbidly curious about that?
I think that right now, because I actually have to really pee, it would be a great time to take a break and open it up to chat. I will ask that question when we get back, though. So we're gonna go to break. It's gonna be 5-10 minutes chat. If you need to grab anything to drink, water, any of those things, run to the restroom. And if you have any questions for Sain, make sure that you hold on to them because they might get lost. Just keep them to yourselves, and then when we come back, we'll lay it all on them at the same time.
All right, I'm gonna do some stretches as well. So
yes, get those stretches and walkies in.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you in just a moment. I unmuted you right when you you cleared your throat.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That's normal. With me, every stream is like scuffed like this. You're gonna, everything about me is clumsy. My size, my brain, my my girls are dude. They're always poking everything out.
Oh my goodness. I am the queen of scuff, unofficially claimed. So it's natural. It's natural. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you heard in the intro while you were waiting. This is the third time this stream that I have been followed by This Bot Only Follows Men. Welcome on in, This Bot Only Follows Men 3, and goodbye. You're gone.
Oh wow.
I have
Yeah,
zero issues because it doesn't bother me because
oh yeah.
literally they spent like 20 minutes making these accounts to have this happen. So I win the energy conservation war. But what the heck? Why would you do this 3 times in a row, bro?
Oh,
But it's all right. They've been banned, and presumably, if they're doing this to a bunch of people, their account won't last very long. So,
yeah.
Anyways, I apologize for the derailment. We're back, everybody.
Hello.
If anybody has any questions for Sain, we would love to hear them. PK did go to bed earlier because she is a college girl now and exhausted. But a question that she usually asks is, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
My favorite flavor of ice cream has to be cookies and cream. But some people say that is not a good choice because that's just vanilla with toppings.
No, it's the best option. You understand.
Yes, I do. Actually, it may be one of my favorites, but I do have other unorthodox favorite flavors in like most occasions because I have a wide palate. I'm not a picky person. Mm-hmm. And I love corn ice cream. Corn. CORN.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that even
yes.
What does that even taste like?
Oh, it's very good. I can tell you. It's very good. It tastes like corn. Let me see if I can associate it with like a flavor of something they sell here in the more Western world. Something a treat.
I bought hot Grillo's Sain.
What? What corn? I love corn ice cream. It's very good. Have you ever had pumpkin ice cream?
Yes. I could see the association. I think it's from.
Yeah.
So
root vegetables. They're root vegetables, so they have like a similar. They're not corn is not the same, but in form of ice cream, they have the same procedure, so it will taste kind of like that. You can kind of there's the earthy flavor on it, but they add like the sweetness to it, and it just tastes really good. Cream of the corn, something like that. But imagine that on ice cream.
Interesting, because as someone who comes from a chef background, I'm just like, I'm literally trying to put the flavors into my mouth right now. Corn is the one that I have the hardest time envisioning, because if we go to root vegetables, I'm thinking of beet flavored ice cream. Not that I've ever had it, but I can taste it. I can't taste the corn ice cream for some reason. I just can't imagine it.
Yeah, it goes really hard with like cinnamon. You can put some cinnamon on it. It's delightful.
It makes sense, but think of it cold.
No, it's just a completely different breed. And I said cream of the corn, and that's like not even doing it justice. Mm-hmm. That tastes way different than the ice cream would. But I'm just imagining the sweetness of it. There's a certain sweetness there, but cream of the corn also can be a little bit salty, but that disappears on the ice cream form. It's no longer salty. It's just that earthy flavor with a bit of sweetness to it with the corn. But it tastes kind of like pumpkin ice cream. Very good.
I think I get it. I think I can envision it. Yeah. I'm going to break your heart and tell you that corn is one of my pickiest foods.
Corn, yeah.
I can only handle it straight off the cob. I can't handle it when it's just by itself, like either frozen or if you like shucked it off the cob. For whatever reason, my brain just goes into shut off mode, and I want to vomit when I have it that way, even though it's not even different. Like I don't know what it is. I've never been able to explain it. It's something that's grown up with me as a child.
Well, it's ironic because most people's cabinet has corn in it. Like it's more than 50%.
Yeah, not me. No, not me at all.
I mean, cereal is corn. A lot of soda is corn.
Yeah,
and a lot of syrup is corn. It's an American thing.
Yeah, I also don't like cereal at all, so maybe that explains it. Maybe it goes hand in hand.
Gasp.
High fructose corn syrup, on the other hand, that's a different story.
I love bread, by the way. Bread is like my everything. Bread is life. I love the bread of my home country. I miss it so much. I literally today shed a tear. I was seeing a TikTok of Puerto Rican cuisine, and I saw my favorite pan sobao, and it's like, dang, I miss it.
No. All right, we'll move on from the food. We won't make any tears fall from your eyes. A question that I ask every stream, my traditional question, my big three, I will say. If you could ask the next interviewee anything, what would you like to ask them?
Ooh, okay. I did my homework. Let's see. If I could ask someone else. Does it have to be aimed like a? Well, okay, no. I remember it doesn't specifically have to be for like vtuber related stuff.
Yeah, no.
I have two questions here. I have two questions here that I wrote down just in case one doesn't work. Do you want two or you want one?
Oh, give me both. I love asking doubles.
Just in case, because one of them would be okay. This is one that could be a little bit either really positive, really hard, or whatever. The question is, if you were not a VTuber, what would you be aiming for?
Okay.
And the other question is very simple. It's just a more fun, sophisticated question. It says, if you could choose to retire from life anywhere in the world, where would it be? And why?
Where would it be and why? Yeah, I'll definitely be asking these. I love it because every time someone goes, oh, I have two though. Both of them, please. We could get some wild reactions out of people.
Okay.
My second question out of the big three. If you were a drink at the bar behind you, what kind of drink would you be? And what would you call yourself? And I want to clarify, this can be non-alcoholic. I know it's a bar. It could be alcoholic or non-alcoholic.
Well, I have a branding that comes together with something a bit more. So the branding has to do with my name. What is my name? My name is Sain. You want that alcohol to make you insane?
All right, I'm already loving it.
So how about a flavor of something that resonates with my colors? How about an orange vodka? And what about if I call it Insane at the Beach? Because I love the beach.
So what I'm hearing is that you want to be a straight on the rocks vodka.
Yes, a vodka, straight on the rock vodka, orange vodka that can make you really insane. It has to really mess you up and give you the same thing that I have on my head. You want to have these bolts on your head? Drink this. It'll surely make you insane. And I can tie that up to the question that was on chat, like what was I talking about? And if you still want the context of that today.
You gotta drink it out of the bottle. Yeah, just hand over the orange vodka, and I'll become sane.
It'll blow your mind, literally, like quite literally.
Grillo saying,
right?
yeah. We'll put that
Not bad.
down as like a slash as well.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you.
And my last question for you.
Yeah.
The most important one. Who would you like to raid?
Oh, all right. Let me triple check here that they are not quite the busy right now. Okay. You know what? Because they were part of my last VCS, my last VTuber chat show, then let's go with Karen Neal. I just learned how to say that name. Karen Neal is a fellow lovely slime VTuber, which I also was a slime VTuber at some point.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have a lot of VTuber models, so I was also a slime VTuber. So yeah, Karen Neal is actually a really good, really wholesome VTuber. They have all kinds of really cool, little projects on their streams, and they have this time frame, so it's ideal. Let me give you the name. Should I put it in the chat on the stream or the Discord?
You could send it to me in DMs. I was about to ask, could you please send that to me? I'm a poor frog.
I was really bad at writing names, and they corrected me on their show, but it is spelled like this, Kieran. I thought it was Kieran because I was reading it wrong, but yeah, it's Kieran Neal.
Okay, perfect. Let me
Gotcha.
pull them up here. Mute the tab so I don't blast everyone's ears out by mistake. And we'll drop a little bit of an ominous follow on them before we head on over. Well, Sain, thank you for joining me this evening, and oh shit, my follow helped them hit their follower goal.
Oh snap! I see it. That's good.
But thank you for joining me this evening and being such a wonderful guest. You have so many great points, and I'll tell you here and now, you're coming back on, and I'm going to be we're gonna go more in depth, even more in depth than we previously did. So,
of course, yeah,
So
I'm looking forward to it
thank
so
you.
much.
I still don't really know what's going on. It's okay. No one ever really does.
Yeah.
So, before we head out, before we raid, do you have any advice that you could give chat? Like a parting word of wisdom to them?
Parting word of wisdom. I say try everything that, as long as it's something that is, ethically and good, try everything out. If you ever wanted to be like an artist or something, or a musician, or a VTuber, or a streamer, at least give it a try. Because you never know. You don't want to live on with that regret. Don't live with regrets. Just keep trying it all until something sticks with you. It doesn't have to be like a big project. You can just give it a try. Never stick with that stuck in your mind, because that's what I did for the longest time. And now I'm tackling everything at once. I'm speed running all the goals that I have in life.
If it's all stuck in your head, then where will it go?
Yeah,
if not
absolutely.
Staying there. So
yeah, straight facts. Thank you, Justin.
All right, here's the raid message. With that, I think that I think we're in a good spot. Okay, I got the name spelled correctly. I promise.
Yeah. You're good.
And we will be off. Have a good night, chat. I don't know when I'm going to be streaming next. It's going to be a weird
Buenas
week.
noches.
Yes,
Buenas noches.
Have a great night. What do they say in French? It's not c'est la vie, but I've said c'est la vie so much. Ça va, ça va. Bonsoir. Have a good night, everybody.
Bonjour. Croissant.
Croissant.
Bye.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, chat.
See, this is my favorite part. I stopped doing this for a while. I don't know why, but I like to occasionally just have the end screen up, but they can still hear us.
Oh, whoa, we're still here. Oh, yo.
Yeah, what's up?
How's it going?
Yeah, they'll never know, right? Oh, wait.
Look at that. Yippee! You see it. I'm losing my screws, chat. But now, there you go, good.
Yeah,
The poison in my veins.
the
Oh
way...
no! They're poisoning me! Oh no! I'm being poisoned! Nah,
I mean, that's how you got
I'm being
here.
turned into a frog!
Oh, well, that's just the chemicals in the water. You could stop ingesting them at any time.
The water. You know what they say about the water and the frogs?
They turn them gay.
Hell yeah.
All right, we've been sent